Hello everybody, happy almost New Year. This gonna try to case fell over. Gonna try to post this on New Year's Eve. Hopefully you guys can escape from the terrible music that they play. Watch this video and go back and catch the ball drop. We're talking Tomica today. And we're talking 2024 Tomica. Every single new release, almost. I don't have the sandbar because I didn't like the cake. The only time I would refuse cake is when it's plastic and on a car. But otherwise, every other casting, all the realistic castings, we should say. Pretty decent year lineup. I'm going to say it's not as good as last year's. We're going to go through them month by month. Show you everything you gotta know, and then I will decide my top 5, and you guys can too in the comments. So I already did videos on the first 4 months, never posted April for some reason, and I lost the video. And they just kept stacking up, and I kept prioritizing Matchbox because Matchbox get the views somehow, must be my channel name. And I wish the Tomica stuff got more views, but hopefully this video does well. But that's not what I'm about. It would be nice, but we're gonna be taking a look at the entire 2025 or 2024 lineup, and we'll start with January. Oh, these are gonna move after. This is the Toyota Yaris GR Sport Cross, so the Yaris crossover. And it's not a full GR vehicle. Got to move it over to the light to get focus going. Of course, the dump truck's in the way. Finished in nice pearl white with lensed headlight details. Your inserted grills, one from the base and one I think is a separate piece. Your flare detailing, your cladding, all part of the base and interior. And the tail lights are actually part of the body. Well, no. Yeah, this one, they're part of the body. The rear window is metal, just painted over, just like a classic Tomica, but no opening parts. And there's your box art, if you want to see it. This one only features suspension, and that was the first model to start off the year. Released alongside it in January is the Acura Integra, the first Acura model in the Tomica lineup. Features painted headlights, which are actually detailed, surprising for a Tomica. Black painted lower grille, but the upper grille is an insert with the Acura emblem decaled on it. A-spec. Taillights are a bit bland, but it's typical Tomica. I mean, they look bland probably because the headlights are actually nice. Black rear lip on the spoiler, and then blacked out window trim and rims. They do have painted sunroofs, not part of the interior piece. And the red was identical, just different color, and black taillights. Forgot about that. Both A-specs, though. And the colors are gorgeous, both metallics. Moving on to February, like I said, there was the Subaru Sandbar cake truck. Passed on that. You have the Nissan Z Nismo. Oh, that's the first color. Hold on. Start with the white one. White one actually I think is better because it's pearl. Pearl white lens headlights, but there actually is a decal print on the headlight, which is something you really don't see from Tomica. I think in the review I mentioned the last time we saw that was, I think, on the RX-8. Maybe there was one other in between that, but this wasn't even the first. This was the first time this year, but not the only time this year. It happened 2 more times. Well, no, actually 3, yeah. 3 more times this year, so. Lower grille is actually a separate piece, probably part of the interior or its own piece. There is a gap there between that and the base. The side skirts, front lip, the side skirts and the front lip are part of the base. The rear is metal, and they have the red Nismo stripe painted on there. Fairlady, Nissan badge on the rear, and then that whole trim piece is piece of plastic. But this lower one is metal. The exhaust stick through the base. The roof is metal. I know it's a notable concern because of the Hot Wheels one. This one does have a metal roof. And it is scaled kind of large. It's 1/57 scale. And here's the first color variant, which is a pastel, not a pearl. But otherwise, same details. For March, we got the newest Hitachi dump truck. This is the EH3500 AC3, if that means anything to anybody. The old one got replaced in February by the Z, and this one took its spot. At least I think it was by the Z. It does have two-piece tires, which is nice. These decals on the side are actually stickers, which is unfortunate. It's only like anything that contains a word, which is just the two on the side of the bed here. Everything else is actually properly painted, but the front stairwell here is plastic. It is a plastic insert, and so is the grille. But the little cab here is metal, part of the body. And yes, the bed does articulate. And it does lock in the upright position. Real dualies. Look at that, you can spin them the other direction. And they cram that massive name onto the little tiny plastic base. This thing is heavy. This thing's got a lot of metal. Super cool, but again, it's 1/85th scale. Or 1 to 1/85th scale. So this thing is tiny. Like, if this was 1/64, it'd be the size of my desk. Because these trucks are tiny. I saw a photo of a guy standing on one. A guy, probably about a 6-foot tall guy. His head was just to the edge of this rim. The inner edge of the rim, I should say, not the outer edge. Like that's like a foot. That flat part of the rim there is like a foot long. Massive truck, and it has to be. It's a quarry truck. I mean, that can hold a ton of dirt. So there's that. Keep it off on the side. Released alongside it in March was the Toyota Sienta. This is, oh, I forget, 4th generation. It's the 3rd or 4th, I can't remember. But the headlights are detailed very nicely. The front grille here is a plastic insert. The trim on the side is painted flat black on the main metal body. And so is all the window trim here. But it's gloss, not flat. Taillights are kind of cold molded into the rear window. So they are clear plastic, and so is the rear window. And this trim piece is painted black, but it is also part of the rear window. Similar to how the Nissan Rogue was last year, which really set it up there on my top of the list. And yeah, great release, and it got a recolor. Not a recolor, first color release. In this pale battleship gray, green, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but I like it. A little cooler than the sand color. And pretty much the same details on this one. The only reason I mention that is because some of them don't have the same details, which you'll see soon. For April, we had the first recolor of the year. This is not a new casting, but it is a new color and a new release. This is the Toyota Crown privately owned taxi, featuring a new taxi emblem for the roof here, which is different than the other ones. I did the comparison in the video, but the video is not around anymore. The grille is still a plastic insert. There's no changes to the casting since I last reviewed one, but you get the privately owned taxi striping, and the black window trim is pretty nice. Toyota emblem on the deck lid, and your rear diffuser and exhaust is part of the base. Released alongside that was the Nissan Serena. This is I have a lot to remember for this video, folks. 5th generation Serena, 6th generation Serena. Want to say 5th gen. It's been around for a while, and Tomica hasn't done all of them, which is why it's hard for me to keep track. But this is one I also mentioned that does have decal print on the lensed headlight. It's got the chrome trim that comes off of the grille there. and I believe the upper one is an LED strip. But the headlights are lens, but the rest of the grille actually might be part of that lens piece that's just painted black, which is something they've also been doing recently. But no, it might be metal. You know, I can't tell. No, it's plastic. And this is included in that too. The whole front grille there is plastic, part of the headlight piece. So that actually makes it nice for customs. You don't have to paint that yourself, just paint the vents. And all your window trim, because the front fender window here and the rear quarter glass are both part of the main metal body. And so are the taillights, which are just blacked out. And then the little mount for the spoiler as well. Rear window is clear. I'm sure it's a separate piece. And this trim piece is part of it with the Serena written out on there. Highway Star on the rear lift gate. And the red one is the same. It is also a Highway Star. Pretty awesome castings though. Oh, and I've been doing a really poor job of showing you features. The Z's have suspension. The Sientas have suspension, and the Serenas have suspension. It's weird that they released both of these MPV vehicles with S's in their name back to back. They sound very similar. All right, we're gonna move these out of the way because now we're gonna get into the stuff that I haven't observed yet. Everything else in the boxes here, I have not seen in person. Of course, seen photos of it, and I have preconceived predictions on what I expect from them, but I've not had them in hand. And we're gonna start with the Mitsubishi Delica Mini, or the Delica D3. And where do the other ones come from? We'll get to those. I'm gonna open them up with this one too because I just felt right. Those are exclusives and promotional models. We'll just start with the Mainline, which happens to be the only one this year that I got that does not have the sticker. It's kind of weird, and it messes with the OCD. But let's pull it out and take a look. There is the Delica Mini. So the Delica has 3 different variants. The D3, or the Mini, is a K-Class vehicle. So it's 660 cc's or less. Focus got messed up. But I was saying 660 cc's or less. Then there's the D4, which is based on the Nissan NV350 and the Chevy, whatever they called it. That was a weird vehicle. But I saw someone use the Tomica casting to make the Mitsubishi Delica D4 out of it. And then the D5 is the big boy, the MPV, my favorite. This started only a couple of years ago too. The Delica Mini is pretty new. And so is that Nissan van. It's within 10 years. The older Delicas were just classified by L. So there's the L200, L300, and L400, which that was the different generations. But as more generations were added, none of them were leaving. Like, you could still buy L300s and 400s at the same time, even though they're completely different. Anyway, then there's the Star Wagon and the Space Gear, luxury trim, and the off-road trim, whatever. I love Delicas. So this one already has possibility to rank pretty high. Let's just see what I think of it. First of all, here you go again with the lensed details with decaling on them. And the Mitsubishi emblem and grille as part of that lensed piece. You got the silver trim on the front bumper here. Black gloss grille. And then the lower grille is part of the base and the bumper caps here. The cladding on this one, however, is actually metal and painted black, which is nice. The front A-pillar trim is metal. Actually, is it trim or is it a window? It's a window. Okay, so the front window, it's a weird place to put a window because it's not even that big. It's not like the Serena. A-pillar trim is, and window, painted black, and so is the quarter glass. Taillights look good, at least there's a little bit of detail in them. Love the silver trim on the back of the diffuser here. Mitsubishi, and then I think that's their hybrid insignia. Silver plastic, or silver painted plastic, part of the window there. Then you got a little spoiler. And blacked out rims. Does have suspension, which we love to see. And did I mention this is May 2024 release. These are not, though. These came out a little bit after. This one not too long after. This is a Mitsubishi dealer exclusive, and it is different. We're gonna take a look at it. It came with a little like dog stuffed animal, which I don't have. Would have been cool to have. Not that I need it, but that's the little Delica mini mascot. So I don't know if they designed the front end to purposely look like the dog, or if the dog was conceptualized after the vehicle came out. Don't know which one came first, but you can see the similarities in the headlight and the grille. It kind of looks like a bulldog. So this was exclusive to BMW, or not BMW, to Mitsubishi dealers, Japanese Mitsubishi dealers, that is. And we're going to see if there's any differences. Remember the Honda Stepwagon of last year being different? There's a possibility this one could be. I don't think it is. I'm already going to say that. I don't think it is. Color is slightly different, but I'm talking about casting when I'm talking about differences. The main difference here is that the dealer exclusive has a black roof while the other one doesn't. The Mainline doesn't. But otherwise, and the color, different. The dealer exclusive is a little more green, while the Mainline's a little more silver. Otherwise, same details and same casting. Quite unfortunate, but I do love the blacked out roof a little better than the color matched roof. And to go along with it, this one just came out in December. So this is the Toys R Us exclusive in pearl white. This one looks really good. And it's a different trim level. Okay, good. Good. You can't tell from the packaging, but this has a little more detail to it than it looks. I like this. I'm sure the casting's still the same, but I like the little camo on there. This has to be a special... Oh, and the green emblem on the back there? Yeah, this one didn't even have an emblem on the back. The Delica. This is cool. I don't know what special edition this is. I'm sure it might say in the name, but I can't read it. And it's got the blacked out trim here. You can call it the teeth if you want to, if you compare it to the dog. Well, this one was silver, not green. It's hard to tell, but it's silver. And Delica across the front. Well, this one does not have it. Super cool. And the grill's blacked out. Everything is blacked out. The base is black too, instead of the gray. It's hard. No, actually, no. That it was black on the Mainline. Just looks more black on this one. Okay. Yeah, the camo graphic is cool, and this one actually doesn't have a black windows. They're metallic gray. You can see a little bit there. Well, maybe they're black, metallic black, but it's not gloss black like the dealer exclusive. You can see the difference there. So this Toys R Us one is definitely better than the dealer exclusive by far. It's pearl white. It's got the little camo on here. It's a special edition of some sort with these green Delica emblems. Love it. Absolutely love it. Let's move these two out of the way, though. They're not the focus. This is released alongside the Delica Mini in May 2024. Jeez, forgot what year it was already. Is the Toyota Prius. And this is one that gets the first color variant in black and the regular release in yellow. Now, the promo photos for these were awful. The rims looked screwed up. and the colors didn't pop very well. I can already tell you, I got this one out of the package for about 6 seconds, and I already love it much better. It is a much better than the promo photos. So I hope that didn't really deter people from getting it. This color does look dark because my camera, my light isn't in. I'm filming in the center of the desk this time, not left center like normal where the light normally is. But you can still see it is a metallic, so it brightens it up a little bit. It's not just a mustard yellow. Headlights are painted. I would be impressed if they lensed that. No way they could unless they made this trim piece part of the lens, but it's yellow, so it wouldn't match. You got your black trim down here. You got chrome trim around the intake for the hybrid battery, I assume. Black wheel flare from the base. I think that's a little thick. Camera cut again. Still going, but yeah, I think these wheel arches are a little too thick, the plastic at least. But do got black trim around the windows there, very nice. And the rear end detailing is very crispy on this. I really like this. The tail light within the black trim there, and I like that it fits within the body line. And then your black trim around the rear bumper there, which is kind of looks Hyundai-like a little bit. PHEV on the lift gate, Prius, and then the little spoiler here is metal, part of the body, while the window itself is just plastic. Pretty cool release. Honestly, yeah, and the wheels look massive in the photos, the prototype photos, but much better in person. And it's almost true 164. Look at that, 165 scale. Suspension's awesome. Almost feels like an older car from the early 2010s. But let's take a look at the black one. The black one's definitely a little more, or I think it's gray, not black. A little more exciting of a color. And it's metallic. Look at that. Now, I don't know why it's got like green and gold metallic in there. I don't know if that's, well, you know, it is a Toyota. They are kind of weird with metallic colors. The blue, or not blue, the black has a lot of blue in it. So this seems like a Toyota thing. You get Toyota emblem on the top there, which of course the other one had. Pretty much the same details actually, but just a different color. That the PHEV stands out more on the black, or like the dark gray here. I love the way the rear looks. See, this already swinging my opinions because I never really got to see it like this. Man, it looks good. So that is May 2024. Now let's go on to June. Creating a big line over here. Hopefully I don't A, knock them off the desk, or B, overflow the desk. June 2024. Oh, excuse me. Featured the Civic Type R race control car and the Honda N-Box. We'll start with the Type R. This was the first... No, never mind. We already discussed that with the Toyota Crown. I was going to say it's the first... recolor of the year, but it isn't. But yes, it is a recolor, not the first. Very similar to the first color of the 2020 Type R in yellow, which is when they brought back Championship Yellow, or no, that's not. No, it's Championship White. What do they call the yellow? I don't remember. But yeah, this is the race control car for Suzuki Circuit. I almost said Suzuki and I had to cut it. Suzuka Circuit. Now they did the Fuji Circuit, the Supra for the Suzuki, or for the Fuji Speedway Toyota Supra, and now we got a Suzuka Circuit Type R. So I'm sure these are real cars too. But nice to see the graphics looking really good. Not blurry like a Hot Wheels. Red trim on the bumper. All the grills here are metal, but the upper one is plastic, part of the headlight piece. Red trim on the rims. And you got your yellow trim on the rear vents. Taillights look good. They're pretty detailed, which is nice. Black trim on the spoiler. Well, the flares are body color. The upper part of the spoiler, or the lower spoiler is part of the window piece. And this features a light bar, which I guess is kind of a new feature on the Type R, right? I don't think we've gotten a police Type R or anything like that before. We might have. But nice little light bar with the black trim piece in the middle there, which gives a nice separation. Like the black roof as well. I don't think other releases had a black roof. I think it was just white. And the black scoop on the front there. Very cool. Of course, suspension is not any different from the 2018 casting, and it should say 2018 on the base, or 2017, yeah. True 164. And this is the facelift, quote-unquote, 2020 facelift, which pretty much just added color-matched trim onto the grills. Yeah. What's a little more exciting is another Honda. This is the Honda N-Box. Brand new casting for 2024. This is the 3rd generation Honda N-Box. And there's a big surprise with the first color variant. I'm sure some already know. But they removed the moving parts on the N-Box, which I guess is fine because the previous ones didn't have suspension. So I guess we traded the opening tailgate for suspension. Honestly, I think they feel weird without suspension, so I think that's the must-have. But I do miss the tailgates as well. No opening tailgate. I like, this one's got something I've never seen before on a Tomica. It's got detail behind the lens. I'm pretty sure that headlight in there is decaled onto the metal, and the lens covers it. Never seen that on a Tomica before. Maybe they've done it on premium models. Maybe they've done. I think they do it on TLV sometimes, but never a basic model. That's pretty cool. And the grille here is part of the headlight piece, and it actually comes down to take this middle grille. The lower grille is painted flat black. So is the window trim. No painted windows on this one. They're all open, all clear. Taillights look good with the red trim in them. That's how the Serena taillights should have looked. N-Box on the rear. Pretty simple, pretty nice suspension. Love the N-Box. It really hasn't changed all that much in 10 years. But take a note, this one does not have a spoiler. But the first color does. This, I love when Tomica does this. Once in a great while, the first color variant will be different from the regular release. Now, this is like a once in a 3-year case. I don't think it happened last year. It almost did. I feel like there was a issue because the step wagon had a different casting. It just wasn't utilized in the mainline. As you remember, it was a dealer exclusive. This, however, there is a dealer exclusive of. But, oh, I knocked all the top boxes. Great. Well, I gotta move them anyway because they're in the way. Hold on. Yeah, there is a dealer exclusive of this. I think it is the custom here. But yeah, so it's a completely different casting. It's in red, by the way, the dealer exclusive. Completely different casting. You can even see the grills are different. Look at that. I love it. Love it. And it, yeah, it is a completely different casting, but even the lower grill's different, which is part of the body. And the upper grill has a much bigger intake. And the headlights are different. This one seems like it's got the LED bar across, while this one just has the lens in the back there. From the side profile, I assume they're going to be pretty similar. Still got the same flat black trim detailing. The custom has blacked out rims. And, ooh, I like the clear taillights. That's a nice touch. And this one's got some, like, indentation in the rear bumper here, other than just being flat, which is where all this blacked out trim is, this nice indent. Love the white taillights. Custom on the tailgate, which is a trim level, not a attribute. It's not customized. It's just the trim level, like the Silverado customs here in America. They're not actually customized. It's just, well, technically, yes, you're optioned, but it's all OEM stuff. And the spoiler. So pretty much the same differences as the step wagons, which is super cool. And I absolutely love it. I love that they gave us the regular one in white, though, because that is the iconic color. All of the regular step wagons are white. And now we got a custom one that is just awesome. Two-tone. It's got that metallic gray, but not the same as the Prius. Prius is, of course, darker, and it has that yellow in it. So cool. This is a close highlight. I was thinking this year wasn't going to be as good as last, but some things are trying to change my mind. This, however, monstrosity that happened in July, neither of these are going to end up in the top 5. Spoiler alert. This should not have happened. We're going to take a look here. This is the Skyline GTR. Yeah, this is not a new car. And this isn't even a new casting. This is a recolor. A recolor of a very old casting. Well, sorry to the 1980s babies. Not very old, but 1989. This casting came out in 2000, or not. What am I talking about? It just said 1989, and I go talk about 2000. This casting came out in 1990. This was the first Tomicas of the new generation. I have the original 1990 release right here. Made in Japan. Of course, obviously. I like how they keep the copyright, even though it's a completely different base. It still says number 20, 1989. But they're completely different. So it is a retool, technically. Although they want you to believe the proportions are the same. I don't believe it. It doesn't have the mirrors. And the front end is definitely different. And the rear end is definitely different. But this is the same casting that they've utilized in the different Nissan sets throughout the past 20 years and the Initial D sets. But now we just get a nice, straight, metallic black one, which is nice. I mean, I guess it's black on the packaging. I kind of expect it to be, like this, but better. This was supposed to be the electric R32. There's no mention of that on the box. I feel like they kind of had to scrap it, but Nissan was developing an electric R32. Retro mod, I don't really know what it was supposed to be, but they were teasing it on the Instagram. All of a sudden, it just disappeared. I don't know if it was canceled or what, but I haven't heard anything about it. I guarantee that's what this was supposed to be, and they had to just erase anything revolving electric and just, here's a regular R32 in the mainline. It doesn't make any sense to be here. The mainline is exclusively new cars. I gave the R34 police car a pass because they still use them in service. Yes, people still use these, but it's not new. They've already done it in the mainline. At least the R34 cop car wasn't done in the mainline previously. It was a multi-pack exclusive, and it wasn't even a good casting. It is now. But yeah, so I hate this thing. I hate the existence of it. The casting's not even that good. If they retooled it, I would have liked it a little better, but they didn't. They just used the same retool that they've been using. Still copyrighted 1989, even though it is completely different than the 1990 release. Headlights are clear, though. I like the... I don't know why the marker light has got metallic. Oh, maybe it's not metallic. It kind of look metallic. But that's... You get the Skyline badge on the front, and that's it. None of the grills are actually, like, painted black. GT badge on the front fender. And you got tail lights, GTR, Nissan, and I believe flat black trim on the B-pillar. That's it. They didn't even bother doing much detailing to this. The color's nice, but that's all it really offers. And it's the one casting this year that gets opening... well, two, sorry. The Hi-Jet's here. One of two castings this year that gets opening parts, neither of which are new castings, which is unfortunate. They kind of broke their rule of doing one new casting a year with moving parts, which they've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years. Last year it was the GTRs. Year before that it was the Hi-Jet. Year before that I think it was the Rise, the Toyota Rise. And there was one other I can't remember, but they've been doing it for a little bit. I don't know if I should count this. The Hi-Jet's already been counted. I don't know if I should count that either. You could kind of count the trucks because they are both actually new, but the opening parts aren't. They're just transferred from the old ones. It's just the cabs that are new. I don't know. See some laziness from Tomica, but anyway, moving on. Try not to get too angry at my favorite brand. The Lexus IS 350. Why am I grabbing the first color first? That is against protocol. This, speaking of getting angry at my favorite brand, this I just gonna come out flat right and tell you the most disappointing car of the year. What? Why does it sound so chintzy? That doesn't help your case, Tomica. It doesn't. Oh, jeez. I already had low expectations. That made it worse. Sorry, some of you guys seem to enjoy when I get really upset. The Matchbox Nissan GTR video shows that. That one did amazing in views, and it was pretty much just me ranting the entire time. I don't want this video to be like that, but it should not sound like that. And it almost seems like the rear wheels aren't even in the right placement. Is that the... Yeah, something. We'll have to see how the other one reacts. I mean, the front wheels are loose, though, too. But yeah, before that happened, my biggest issue was the wheel size, A. I mean, they're kind of big. Come on, those are kind of big. They use, like, the biggest sport rims they had. Well, they didn't, because the Aria has bigger ones. But they almost used the biggest ones they had. And this grill, what is that? Come on, Tomica. I would have preferred it just to be painted rather than an insert. I knew they were not going to be able to get those crispy edges. Just take a look at that. And then you take a look at this, and one of these things are not like the other. Yeah, not thrilled with that grill. And it's a shame because I love the Lexus IS. I was wanting it to be good. The previous one they did was awesome. No. I like the extra detail in the headlights. Lower grills look good. There's your nasty wheels. Come on, zoom in. Oh, I can't any farther. There's the F Sport badge on the front fender. The color looks great. Black trim around the windows. You got your rear ducktail spoiler painted black. The rear end looks fine. Look at that. That looks promising. Then you see the rest of the car, and it's all screwed up. The exhaust, I love the detail on the rear diffuser here with the exhaust, you know, giving it some depth. course, the taillight's just a solid color, which is interesting. IS 350, Lexus badge. It seems like they just decide when they want to be lazy. It's like they tried very hard on the front. The headlights look fine. I'm fine with just the LED strip there, but they could have done something more. They put. I'm done. That bothers me. Notice the skyline didn't sound like that. That's just the wheels sliding back and forth. That isn't the wheels going up and down like the shock blew out on a Nissan Armada. Let's see. Let's see what happens to the black one, which I don't even remember if it's... No, it isn't black. It's wow, is every first color this year going to be this metallic gray? As I say that, none of the other ones are. But 3 in a row, the Lexus, the Honda, and the Prius. Yeah, this one isn't nearly as bad. What happened to this one? Something's not sitting in there right. This one, the first color's fine. First color's fine, no problem. No problem with the first color. Well, other than the grill. But whatever. Actually, come to think of it, there was a difference between the Land Cruisers last year, I believe. Going back to the topic of the Honda N-Box. I think the first color Land Cruiser had different grills, or at least they were updated to match the box. Anyway, so this is almost like a blue silver. The taillight looks better on here than the white, maybe because of the gaps. IS 350, this is pretty much the same casting though. Why does it almost look painted? Rear diffuser, plastic, but it almost looks like it got metallic in it. Strange. Yeah, massive wheels, whatever. The darker color kind of hides some of the issues. Like, this definitely looks better than the white one. Definitely the one to get. Yeah, but I feel like it's too narrow in the front here, too long in the back. I think it's just the wheel arches and the massive wheels that mess it up. And grill doesn't look that good. Not Tomica's best work here. And it didn't seem like anybody else really noticed that. Like, not until I pointed it out, people were like, oh yeah, that is kind of weird. And I hate to do that because, of course, I love Tomica, but it's got to stay... What's the word? Fair. Stay fair, because I pick on Hot Wheels all the time. And I would pick on them for the same thing. Actually, it'd probably be worse. But still, I gotta dish it out when I can. It's supposed to be a review. It's supposed to be honest. I'm not sponsored. I can say whatever I want. Although I try not to swear. Sometimes I do. So, yeah, there is the ISF. And I'm not even going to bother comparing the other one because it was so good. I'm going to put the skyline back. Which this will be back for another video sometime next year. Early next year. Maybe even January. No, probably February. At the rate I'm going, February. February 2026. What was that? This is August. Okay. Redemption time. We have the Daihatsu Hijet JAF road service car. Nice to see another JAF vehicle enter the main line. We just got the Jimny in 2022, I believe. So it's been at least a year and a half since we've had a JAF vehicle enter the main line. I don't think we had any in between that as like a special release or gift pack or anything. And actually, since they just gave us the Road Patrol gift pack, it's time we did get a JAF gift pack. Gift pack. And released alongside the road service car, we have the Lamborghini Revolto. See it take... I know how to pronounce it. I've seen the freaking car in person, and I still can't do it. Okay, Revolto. Or Ravioli, whatever you prefer, you know. We got the Lamborghini Ravioli. We got the Alfa Romeo... Or no, it's the Maserati Guacamole. Whatever you prefer. Start with the Daihatsu. Alfa Romeo toenails where I was going to go, but no, that's not food. We got the... I hope it's not food. Alfa Romeo tonal. here is the Hijet. So, love JAF vehicles. I'm glad they actually have the license, unlike the Nexcon vehicles. Nexco. Sorry. And JAF across the front hood there's your Daihatsu badge, and then your lens headlights, which are individual pieces. You got a white base to give the white bumpers to fit the livery. There's your JAF emblem, Japan Automotive Federation. These are pretty much like a Japanese AAA, sort of. And I think they do a little more than that, too, being a automotive federation. But they do have, like, tow trucks and stuff. Wow, look at the spilt paint on the interior. Rear seating. JAF across back there. Hijet cargo. And, of course, tailgate opens to nothing inside. Taillights on the bumper, which they claim to free up as much space as possible on these sides here to open the tailgate so that there's no, like taillight pocket intruding out, which, even when they do put them on the side, you're not taking up that much room, but this one does have a bump. Well, see, supposing these vehicles are the same width, the Daihatsu does have more trunk access. But I don't think they are the same width in real life. This is just a plain white and a pastel blue. Doesn't need to be fancy to be a service vehicle. Great suspension. And a great release. Now, the Revolto. Gotta say it with the Italian accent. That's the only way you can say it. Revolto. That's the only way you can say it. I can't say it in my accent. If I did, it would be Revolto. Yeah, Revolto is kind of an English accent. If you go Italian, Revolto. Okay, doesn't matter how you say it. No, just don't say it wrong. I've heard mixed opinions about this. Of course, it being a Lamborghini supercar, it's gonna get a little more attention than the regular Japanese traffic that I love so much. The end box, that sounds sarcastic. That's not sarcastic. I generally love the end box and the Delica and all that. But let's take a look. Now, I'm not too familiar with the vehicle because I've seen it in real life. Love it. It's a very photogenic car. I've taken some really nice photos of it. Taken. I think I can see some issues with it. This looks a little happy in the front end. The real one definitely doesn't. It's a very aggressive car in real life, but I just think it's the way they have to do these decals. Also, it kind of looks like a C8 Corvette. But I'm not hating it. Maybe I just don't understand the vehicle fully. It is large. Well, no, it is true 164 though, according to Tomica. And I take them seriously because they seem to be pretty honest. 170, 163, 163. They stopped giving scales on the trucks, apparently, because they're breaking them. 100 on the bus. So you got your LED strip on the front here, all your blacked out trim. Yeah, the whole front end's actually metal, which is nice to see. Look at that, big chunk of metal. The plastic actually is reframed. You do get plastic rocker molding, though. You got your blacked out trim. There's your motor in the back. There's a really, just exposed like that? Or is there supposed to be a cover for it? Well, I never really paid attention. Well, actually, the one I saw in person, you couldn't get around to the back side. It was just, you could just get the front. You could only really see it like this, because there was a wall behind it. You could see all the sides of it, but there was just a little wall behind it with the Lamborghini logo on it. You could walk around it, but you couldn't really see the rear end. There's your exhaust and the tail light. Yeah, the tail light's it's a little underwhelming back here, but it's okay. It's the rear end. Again, not perfect. I'm not saying it's okay, but the fuses look cool. It would be fun to see those in action in the wind tunnels. I've been saying that a lot. Those wind tunnel things are pretty cool. Yeah, I don't hate this. I don't hate this. I love the metallic orange. Now let's take a look at the green. This is the first color variant. and it better be a metallic green. It is. Tomica is very good at that. Like, if they don't do a metallic color, there's a very good reason for it. They've definitely put a lot of time into their paint work lately, and I love seeing that show through. I'm sure that's probably where the money from the opening parts went, to the paint presentation. There's your reading badge on the front there, which I probably just totally overlooked on that one. Pretty much the same decals. No suspension though. That's the one. Nor does the Lexus have it either. No suspension on the Lexus, and nothing on the Revolto. Revolto, yes. Taillights again are underwhelming, but the black trim around the exhaust looks good. And there's your engine. Maybe that is an engine cover and it just looks like the engine. But I don't think the engine should be exposed like that. Although, how many Revolto owners are going to drive it through the rain? It's like, well, they don't really drive the car anyway. And when they do, it's going to be a 75-degree sunshiny day. So, do it. Do we need the engine cover? Nah, we can just throw that in. Save some weight, you know. Now we can boast it. It's got 4 million horsepower, and it can fly, and yeah, we'll go through the Top Gear jokes. Okay, so, August, not bad. Not as bad as I expected. The Revoltos are fine. They're not going to win any awards from me, and I'll say this right now, any recolor is exempt from my best awards, because they were already successful when they were first released, except for the GTR because it's so old. Anyway, yeah, so I've already included that into awards before. Just because it's got a new color, it's not going back. That's how you know it's going to be a long video if the camera keeps cutting out. Moving on to September, my birth month. And, well, they were ready for me because they had a Subaru Levorg. Absolutely love the Levorg, and biased or not, that one, it's really good, and it's gonna end up in the top 5. I already tell you that. But first, we gotta get through the GR Supra GT4 Evo. I don't know if this is gonna be a road car. It looks like it has the potential to be a road car. It'd be cool if it was. It would make the Supra a little more likable for me. Just to have like this nice track package. And the bag's like glued shut. Weird. Interesting color too. It's nice to see another example of the Supra. Like, cause this isn't even like the same casting. Kind of like it. Unfortunately, just got blacked out headlights for some reason. Nice metallic orange though. Like the black intake. A lot of black detailing here. Blacked out grills. Toyota emblem on the front of the hood, or the front of the bumper. Supra GT4 Evo. This one gets the big sport rims like the Lexus, but this one actually has suspension. Nice big plastic wing. Is that supposed to be exhaust up there, or is it just vents? Oh no, there's a single exhaust. Oh wow, look at that. They actually like carved out where the dual exhaust would be, and they just have the single tip. That's cool. So it's just missing the other tip, but it's supposed to be like that. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like that. A cool touch. There's your rain light. That, I don't know what that is. Under the plate holder. Is this an antenna or like just arrow? That might be the antenna. Yeah, that would be like an actual antenna, right? For racing. Love the arrow on this thing. Nice front bumper. You got the side skirt. And the rear bumper, I'm pretty sure that's just the stock arrow on the back here. Does have suspension, which is awesome. They could have easily just not given this one suspension. Yeah, GT4 Evo. Such a cool idea to do. And I kind of like this a little better than the regular Supra. A little more aggressive. How it should look. Supra's never really been aggressive, though. 3rd gen, I would think, is probably the most aggressive vehicle, though, with pop-up headlights, because it's really kind of hard to gauge them. Subaru Levorg, which is pretty much a WRX wagon. And that's what it's called in Australia. But for some reason, it's just not good enough for the Americans to get. We never get anything good. And when we do, it's like limited production. But here is the Levorg. Now, Tomica did the first generation Levorg. They didn't do the facelift. It had a very minor facelift. They didn't do it. And here's the second gen. Based on the new WRX, which is this technically the second gen WRX by itself, right? Or the third gen. I can't remember. I wish it was still based on the Impreza. It'd be easy to remember. This color's a little bright for a Subaru blue, but it's okay. There's your headlights, just plain old Tomica stamp detail, which actually is the first time in a minute that I've seen regular headlight details on a Tomica. The grill's an insert, though. Subaru emblem. Got the flat black trim below the headlights. Sport rims. Your blacked out pillar decals and rear quarter glass. Like the chrome trim along the bottom, though. That's a nice touch. There's your hood scoop. And defying all known thoughts about the WRX, this one has a wagon rear end. Almost, you kind of put it at this angle and it almost looks like a Buick Regal Tora X. If you know what I'm talking about, you're a cool guy. But all-wheel drive, Levorg on the tailgate. Love the taillight details on this. That is crispy. That is on the same level as the Supra, or Supra, Prius, not the Supra. Supra, you can barely tell they're even there. On the same level as that Prius from before. I love the use of just the red and the black. Like, it's simple, but it works. And that is awesome. That's Levorg. This one actually has pretty good suspension. I could already tell just by the way it was sitting. And, yeah. Love this one. Love this casting. Love the release. The silver one I think I'm going to like a little better because it seems like it's more accurate. But let's see. At least it looks more accurate on the artwork. And the artwork of the blue one is actually much darker. Should have looked more like that. Which is how the WRX looked. Yeah, I think I like the silver one a little more. To be honest. I won't say that about the next one, though. But for the Levorg, although it does kind of hide that silver trim at the bottom of the window. Is it even there? Oh yeah, it is. It's there. And the the taillights still kind of pop. The taillights look better on the blue one though. But yeah, super cool. And it hides the headlights too. So yeah, give and take. The color's more accurate, but it kind of hides the finer details. Headlights, the chrome trim, taillights don't pop as well. Yeah, this hides the silver trim on the Subaru badge, too. Although the front one's fine, because it's on the grill. Yeah, give or take there. I don't know. I still love it. Great casting. And that's what we're talking about here, castings. Which is why the Lexus isn't up there. If it was just by car alone, the Lexus would be on top. But no, we're going based on casting. And Levorg might make it to the top 3. I don't know if it's my number 1 yet. I haven't seen the Triton yet, and I've already got high hopes for the Mustang. Or, not the Mustang. Expectations are low for the Mustang. I'll get to that. But the Model 3, I'm interested to see. I'm very interested to see it. There's one key factor on that one that will either put it on the top of my list or the bottom of the list. And we'll get to that when we do. But that September's strong. I don't really have any complaints about those. Let's go to October. October was also very exciting. September and October were pretty strong together. And that was the strongest really since the N-Box back in, what was that, June. Here we have the Isuzu Elf. This is the brand new cab design. I don't really know how these things go for generations. I think this is still the current generation. It's just a facelift. But I don't really know. But this is, well, actually, no, it just had a facelift, like 2 years ago. So is this supposed to be a new generation? I don't know. But I kind of like it. It's a cool look. I don't know if this is supposed to be the electric variant either. but it's certainly a different look. The one thing, though, that this isn't a Tomica issue, this is just the way Isuzu designed it, but it looks very flat in the front. Like, there isn't much, and of course, these chrome stripes, or the strips here, would have been, they should stick out a little bit, so that might be Tomica's fault, but other than that, like, it is a very flat front end. I don't like how it has, not gonna say, it almost looks like, here, we'll put a different analogy. It almost looks like little antennas on snails, or actually, is that their eyes? Yeah, it's their eyes. The eyes of a snail, just sticking out. So those are obviously the mirror mounts, but I don't know why Tomica felt the need to bring those out, because there isn't any mirrors anyway, so you think they should just eliminate that anyway. Yeah, but I like the decal print for the front here. Very crispy, very nice. I just wish that these chrome pieces were actually part of the body, like they stuck out a little bit because it's just flat. But it's nice that Isuzu finally integrated that into the design more. I don't remember how the facelift looked, but I don't think it was that integrated. It is finally nice that they figured out how to do it, because the D-Max has been doing it since, well, like 10 years ago. So you got the nice elf emblem here. Of course, no metallic paint. It's a truck, doesn't need it. And I love just the infinite. That's great. Just keeps going. Just keeps going. On the side here, it's nice that it's cool that they replicated the box too. Although they should have put like the new for 2024 on there. I see why they didn't. Yeah, it'd be cool if they put that on the top of it. Yeah, it's just the fact that they had to actually. The more you think about this, the funnier it gets. They spent the time. I don't know why they would want to do that, but it's great. They spent the time to copy and paste it. I can't. This might be the best of the year. It's killing me. It's killing me. But not only did they, we want to replicate the Tomica box on the side of the truck. I love Tomica. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. I can't even think about it anymore because it's just too damn funny. I love that they finally put something here. This bothered me on the previous one. I think they just had like the fuel tank, and this might be part of the fuel tank. But now it's got like the rail there. You can see the bars coming down for the support rail, the protector rail. Just to fill in that space, and it looks a lot better. Looks a lot better. Now, it does have opening doors on the back here. This is the same rear cap that they use on all the other box trucks, and I just messed up the focus. This video has been cut and played so many times now. I love this release. I thought it was a little weird at first, but the joke is there. It does have suspension. They don't normally, the Isuzus get suspension. I mean, it's very springy. It doesn't let you like fully push down on it, but it is there. The other two, the Hino and the UD trucks, are not gonna have suspension, by the way. I already know that, and actually the box tells me on the Hino. But let's go to the Triton. As I said, that the silver one was gonna be a little more boring over here. It is. The red's a great color. It's like a red-orange. Either way, it's a great color. The silver one's just kind of boring. I've actually seen a Triton in person. A Mexican market one, where it's labeled as the L200. No relation to the Delica for some reason. I don't know why they chose L of all the letters, because that's what the Delica uses. But, of course, that was the previous facelifted generation. This is the brand new for 2024 2024 or 2025 generation of the Triton, and it's awesome. It's already out in Australia, I believe, and I think you can get it in Japan as well. It's also, I don't know what that, whoa, what is that? That's raised. I might be able to remove that. I should stop picking at it. There's a Mitsubishi emblem on the front grille. The grille is a plastic insert. Your chrome trim and your headlights are not. The headlights are actually the darker silver there, while the chrome trim is the lighter silver. It'll pop out a little more on the red one too. Nice silver finish. It's got a full metal bed, which is awesome to see because we can't get that from Hot Wheels or Matchbox. Flat black trim around the windows. Love the taillights, and I love that it's like a clear to give it that metallic look, which, of course, metallic taillights aren't totally accurate, but it does kind of give them that lensed look, even though they aren't. Mitsubishi emblem on the lift gate, kind of hard to see. And Triton, and there's maybe something right there. I don't know. You can't see it on the silver. The Tomica silver is so potent that it just hides everything. That's why I said the red one would be more interesting. Oh, and the rear window is decaled too, which they forgot on the Hilux in the Nexco multi-pack. Great suspension though. This, tell you, the Triton's gonna win suspension of the year because there's only one more model coming up, and it's a Tesla, so not gonna have very good suspension travel. So Triton wins suspension of the year, but that's not an award I usually give. Let's get the red one out, or is it orange? I don't really know yet. Let's see. Oh, it's red. Oh, it's red. 100% red. The box makes it look questionable, but that's red. And oh, is it not? Oh, it's not metallic. Shoot. Okay, it lost a couple points there. No, I don't. Not judging based on release or judging based on casting. And so far, this is a great casting. This is a great casting. I'm happy that the ones I'm excited for, other than the Lexus, the ones that I'm excited for are the great castings. Just the phenomenal. And the full metal bed helps. This thing's heavy. It's awesome. I don't think it's metallic. No, it's just a straight red, which is weird because it looks like it should be metallic on the box. But at least the front end decals pop out a little more, especially the chrome trim. I don't care for how the headlights are detailed. Looks like it's just, I don't like the hard cuts there. You can see where they overlap. I don't like that. Maybe I'm happy the silver one hides it. Blacked out rims, flat black window trim. Of course, you get your rear window, and you can see a little better. Oh, and the handle's painted too. I didn't even notice that on the silver one. Mitsubishi, Triton. Oh, there's a spare tire cast on the base, which is cool. Nice that you can see it from this angle. I like the silver trim on the bumpers, which I kind of just looked over on the other one. I think I did. Step pad, nice textured. Oh, that's a paint chip. How did the bed get paint chipped? It must have been a paint bubble and it just popped. I don't like made in Vietnam. That's kind of funny. But oh, really bouncy. Really bouncy. Yeah, this one's up there. This one's up there. I don't want to know. Maybe top 3 again, like the Lavore. That one might be battling the Lavore for second. I think I have a notion of what my number 1 is after seeing the Lavore and the Triton. Very close, but not there yet. Neither of these are going to make it to the top 5. Guarantee you that. But we still got to take a look at them. Actually, this is the Hino Pocha, and I actually like the Hino Pocha. But I've seen the Tomica casting, and it just isn't too appealing. As I said, the Hino Pocha is a pretty popular bus right now in Japan. I don't know how long it's been in service for. But if you go, like, just look at a photo of Tokyo, I guess it depends on what area you're in, but there's a lot of them. A lot of different colors. Probably different bus companies using them. And yeah, I don't know. I guess the release is throwing me off on this one. Green's a very weird, like this bright green is very weird to have on a bus, especially with no other decals. The windows, of course, aren't tinted because it's a bus, but the green interior too is just a little much. And there's a lot of plastic here. Like, a lot of plastic. Okay, that's metal. But of course, the window's all plastic. And the roof is plastic. And of course, this front section here is plastic. This is metal down here. And this side's metal. I mean, it's still got weight to it, even though it's pretty plasticky, but it's under-detailed. And they are, of course, limited because of the size. But I don't know. I'm not totally feeling it. And I know Diecast Kaguru wasn't either. He just completely passed on it. Well, did he? No. I don't remember. I thought he passed on it. I just can't, because I do think the Poncho is a cool vehicle in real life. This just release doesn't do it for me. Maybe if it was different, I might like it more. It's hard to really tell whether or not it's a good casting, because it's just not a vehicle that we get in the US. We don't even get anything close to it. Like, what is this? It's just such a weird design. There's your headlights. There's your chrome trim on the front there. And also, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about the Hino Pocha either, as opposed to, like, the Triton or the Lavorg. So it's not like it's a vehicle I come across very often either. I just know it's a common vehicle in Japan. And would like a 1/64 scale one for a diorama. I think it's cool that they did this to kind of... Well, no, I guess it's kind of lazy. I don't know what I think. There's no taillight details either, which is concerning. Hino and the Hino emblem on the back here. I don't know if this is the feature of Hino. I don't know if I care for it. Released alongside of it is something even worse. Ford Mustang EcoBoost Fastback. And on paper, that doesn't sound bad. But wait until you see this thing. Ooh, she's big. She's... Here we go again. Yeah, the Mustang and the Lexus are definitely at the bottom of the list for 2024 Tomicas. This thing's fat. At least it's heavy. At least it's heavy, but look how tiny the taillights are. Where are they? Gotta keep zooming in. Oh, can't even get it on the screen. So tiny. Why? They should not be that small. Come on, Tomica. Really? That looked fine to you? Doesn't look fine to me, and I'm not even an American muscle car guy. And I know that's not right. I don't know, the front end doesn't look too bad. It's a little square. Not so much how I remember seeing the new Mustang in person. I still don't see them very often. I've seen more of them at car shows. Or, yeah, at auto shows. Not even car shows. Nobody's really had them long enough to do anything to bring them to a car show. Just pastel red. Kind of boring. I mean, I like the homage to the old Mustang casting. Don't get me wrong. I picked up on that pretty quick. But it doesn't really work on the new Mustang. It doesn't at all. And this, why do we have this orange trim piece down here? Could we really not? That lower grille is metal. That's a metal lower grille. You're telling me they couldn't make this tiny little piece part of the body so it could actually color match? No, this Mustang lost everything from me. It's the grille. Why does it have an oval for the emblem? But is that how the real one is? I don't think they just stuck the Mustang logo into the Ford oval. I don't think that's how the real one is. That don't look right to me. That don't look right. Not feeling this one from Tomica. Not feeling this one. This and the Lexus are the worst of the year, hands down. And I guess the Hino. The Hino's got a bad release though. I don't think the casting's awful, but this is awful. Yeah. We'll compare it to the Hot Wheels and... Well, actually, I already opened the Hot Wheels one. I don't have it with me. Oh, wait, I do. Wait. I have the Dark Horse. Actually, I didn't like the Hot Wheels one either. It's got the same issue in the front end. And actually, the Tomica one actually lets me express my issue with the Hot Wheels one. Yeah, see, look. Look. The Hot Wheels one actually has a Mustang emblem, not a Ford emblem with a Mustang on it. But, here, you can see my issue with the Hot Wheels one. Why the hell do they cut the grill off like that? Like, why is it just this tiny little snout? it should go way over here. And way over here. Yeah, the Hot Wheels one sucks. The Tomica one sucks. The Matchbox one is the only hope. Unless that's a Dark Horse thing, I don't know. It doesn't look right to me. And let's take a look at the taillight. Yeah, the Hot Wheels one was actually crispy from the rear end, but the Tomica one, oh boy. It isn't. It is not at all. Let's take a look at the blue. And the fact that there's no suspension really kills it too. It was already dead, but no suspension just lit it on fire. Let's take a look at the blue one. I actually, holding these does give me nostalgic to the older ones. I should have brought them out. But they did get the colors pretty on point to the ones they did 10 years ago. But that doesn't, the nostalgic factor does not mean anything. It's just... oh, it's worse on the blue. Oh, I'm not gonna try. Oh, look, the color match is fine though. That's not an issue. I'm not gonna pretend. So it seems like anything with these big rims is just no good. Because that started with the Nissan Kicks. Well, the Supra's fine though. The Supra's fine. The Revolte is acceptable. Just the Lexus and the Mustang are the two American vehicles here. Well, the Acura is too. Never mind. The Acura is number 3 for American vehicles, but the best one of the year, best American vehicle by far. Even though they do get the Lexus and the Acura in Japan. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. It's underwhelming. Terrible way to like even suggest ending the year. Look at it completely fills up that parking space. Are they just stereotyping the Americans now? Moving on to December, the final batch of 2024 Tomica. Not terribly exciting, other than the fact that this is the first Tesla model from Tomica. But wait, is it? No, it isn't. Look what we have here. Yes, this is a Tesla Model S from Tomica. You can't tell, because it's a character. I forget what show this is from, but this is a real car. They did actually use a Tesla Model S to promote this show. I knew immediately it was a Tesla Model S. I didn't really care that this casting existed before. I didn't know it was a Tesla Model S until I got it in hand. And then I saw this very distinct point on the rear door. I saw this angle of the rear quarter glass. I saw the panels on the roof here, which should be glass. And the taillights kind of suggested, and the body line here going up the side of the window here suggests that this is a hatchback, like the Tesla Model S is. The taillights, of course, they're kind of altered, I guess, to avoid copyright, but the real vehicle is a Tesla Model S. If you want to look it up, it's the Benesi car or corporation car, maybe. I don't know. I did find a photo of it. Door handles are also very obviously the Tesla Model Y door handle. Those are the ones that pop out. Yeah, so the first Tesla from Tomica came back way in 2013. That's right when the Model S came out. Literally 12 years later, we had the Model 3. But we gotta look at the UD Trucks Kion first. How I'm gonna say it. The Kion. This I actually have good hopes for. I love the UD trucks. I love the previous casting from Tomica. I hope they utilize this one more often and in the same way that they used the blue one. Or the blue one. Yeah, there was a blue release of it. The older one. Just giving it realistic liveries. I want to see a Swaga one. I want to see Japan, not Nippon Express. Maybe even a Japan Post one. That'd be cool. But this does utilize the same back piece as the UD truck, the previous casting, with the opening. Hello. The opening flares, and of course these would drop down as demonstrated in the Tarmac Works version of this rear end, which also by the Tarmax Works, should be able to hold 2 full-size cars, so that just shows you how underscaled this thing is. It doesn't even give it that. Wow, the base is like clean on this one. I don't remember the old Kion being this clean, but front end looking pretty good. It's just a bunch of chrome trim here, which is what it looks like. Headlights are way down here. I know it kind of looks like they should be in this recess. UD Trucks has a thing for doing that. I don't know why. Especially with the Tomica castings, it looks like headlights are supposed to go above the bumper. No, they go in the bumper. Yeah. So if they're a little more detailed, maybe it would be more noticeable. Love the UD badge and Kion on the top of the hood, I guess you could call it. We used to get UD trucks in America. They're super rare. I've seen one. I have a photo of one at least. I might have seen a few of them, but I don't really remember unless I take photos. But the fact I only have a photo of one of them tells you how often I come across them. A little blacked out trim here where the door handle is, and that's the lower window. Of course, there isn't never anyone on this side. I love the mud flap that comes down, and then the protection rail to fill in that space, which of course it needs. The rear protection rail as well, and of course the box. The box has been the same since 2005. It's had the same tail lights. You know, just looking at these tail lights, it looks old because you can tell that they're just regular lights. They're not LEDs or anything. Super cool casting though. Wish I had the little roof deflector on it like the old one had, which also covered up these ugly holes. But super cool. Love it in green too, because I don't think the other one ever really got a green release. Now let's finish it off with the Tesla. Is this thing gonna make it to my top 5? There is a big factor of that, and that is the roof glass. The roof glass is partially plastic, partially metal on this one. If it can blend it together nicely, it might have a chance of making the top 5. Right now it's in number 6. As I put this together in my head, it's at number 6. If it can perform the blend nicely, it will be number 5. Because this is very good looking. This is a good looking model of a Model 3. But oh, look how crispy the rear end is. Look at that. That's great. Taillights look great. I love that they stand out there. Tesla across the back in the new font as well. Great detail. Got your black trim around the door here and the silver trim underneath it. Oh no, is it there? I can't tell. Looks like there's something there. Well, here's one thing. I don't like that the door handles are recessed like that. I guess that's probably the only way they could visualize them. But they are supposed to be flush with the rest of the door for aerodynamics. The rear diffuser is nice, which is something that the facelift Model 3s actually added, was this rear diffuser. And the reflectors in here were removed. Well, I should say it was expanded. The rear diffuser was expanded to be more of a diffuser. And the older ones had reflectors in them. These have lights, so they're not actually reflectors. Those are actual lights, and that's... I don't remember what's in there. I think it's the turn signals. But yeah, and these taillights actually lift up with the trunk now instead of being 2 pieces. It was normally like split right here. That would lift up with the trunk, and this would stay attached to the quarter panel. But now it's just one piece. I think that's your brake lights, and then your signals are down here. That's where the charging port is. Or it could be on this side for foreign models. I don't know. That's a good question. Is right-hand drive? Funny seeing a right-hand drive Tesla. And that interior pretty much looks like how they do. I love how they added the little bow in there. You see that line, that little bow? That is where the interior lighting strip is, the ambient lighting. It's a little red LED strip that goes through there, and it actually looks pretty cool. It doesn't look tacky or anything. Pretty cool, and does have the smaller wheels, which is nice. Blacked out. And there's your roof piece. Now that, I don't like how it looks, but everything else is so good. It's pretty flush. Everything else is so good, I think I might have to give this a number 5. I might have to give this a number 5. People are gonna hate me. That is even considered put in a top 10, but for it to be number 5. There's Tesla emblem on the front there. The new headlights look awesome on these, although it does leave a lot of empty space. There is intake down here now, and that is it. They don't even have these separate fog lights anymore. Well, they do, but this one doesn't have it. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I've seen one yet with the fog lights, though. There's your little cameras on the sides there. Yeah, these things are full of cameras. They got the one on the fender here, one on the B-pillar. There's one on the back, of course, B-pillar, fender. And there's one that faces out and 2 that face in from the top here. And then there's also cameras on the mirrors. The underside, no, not on the underside of the mirrors. No, because these act as the mirrors too sometimes. When you reverse, it will show you within these cameras too, as well as the mirrors. And it does have 3 seats in the back, which is interesting. Okay, so stiffer suspension, as I figured. Triton wins for suspension. Let's take a look at the red one. We already know this one's going to be better. Tesla red is actually very nice, and this is, I guess, kind of what I expected this Triton to look like. Look at that. Now, I'm very surprised Tomica decided to go back to Tesla. And we even got the Model Y coming next year, which is crazy. But honestly, glad they did. Oh yeah, this is an American vehicle, so this is like 4 American vehicles. Technically, yes. The Integra, the IS, the Mustang, and the Roadster, or the Model 3. Of course, we get the Prius in America, we get the Z in America, but they're not like pure American vehicles. Teslas are built in America. Mustangs are partially built in America. The Acuras, I don't really know. Some of them might be. And the Lexus, same thing with the Lexus. Some of them might be built in America. But I don't know where I'm going with that. Just wish they painted that lower grille piece, but that's not going to affect its scoring here. If it did not have this... It does give it some nice weight, the extra metal. I'm not mad that it has more metal, but I just think making the whole roof clear would have been a much better idea. But at least they didn't just cut it in half like Matchbox did. Matchbox made their own break in the window. At least they fouled where the actual roof window is, because yes, these do have 3 windows. You got the front window, you got the rear window, and then you got your roof glass. This is accurate. That's where the lines pretty much are. So they did separate out specifically the roof glass to make metal. And actually, when it's like this, you can't really tell. And you can't see the rear window either, so this just looks tinted. I gotta say, the blend is nice, and that's what I was looking for. This is number 5 on my top 5 Tomica of the year. So, this is number 5. What else comes next? Well, for number 4... Gonna put the boxes away. Hold on. Move the Hino. We're just gonna go strictly. Well, here we'll do first color in the back, regular release in the front. Number 5 is the Tesla. Number 4. That's a tough one. So now, yeah, very tough. Very tough. I'm torn. I think I'm going Delica. Delica for number 4. Oh, that's the wrong one, too. Delica number 4, actually. There's no really first. Here, we can pretend the white one's the first color. White one's first color. It was between that and the N-Box. I really like the N-Box, but I think I like the Delica a little more than the N-Box. And the N-Box, if I was doing a top 10, would get 6th place. N-Box is 6th, and the Sienta would be 7th. I don't know where else to go from there. Number 5. No, Tesla's number 5. Oh, jeez. Number 3, I think I'm going to give to the Lavorg. No particular reason. I think the casting's perfect, and I really like how the rear end came out. But, well, You know what? No, Lavorg's going too. Lavorg's going too. I can't put the Triton above the Lavorg. The Triton's great. Love the suspension. Hey, top 3 is still great. There's nothing wrong with the Triton. I feel like the front detail's could be fixed a little bit. Front detail isn't perfect. I think that's gonna set the Lavorg into second. Lavorg second, and number 1, my favorite of 2024. Some of you might not even be able to guess this. The Nissan Serena. I was super impressed with the Serena. Love it. And here, this is where we can add bonus points for release. So I don't judge based on release. And I think the casting is great. It's got great suspension for an MPV, which is, they never used to do suspension on MPVs, so it's already there. I love the front end detailing. Just this, even though the whole front end's plastic, pretty much, the whole grille, it looks good. And it doesn't look like it's all plastic, because it looks like it's just the lights that are plastic. But the paint detail is there, awesome. Love just all the intricate detail. Like, look at the different body lines on the side. Like, it's just done very well. Very well. The taillights and the lack of detail in the taillight is definitely takes it under. Again, I'm not going to take anything away from them when they're bad details. Just gonna give them extra credit for good details, and not even that. Well, I mean, the grill, it's a separate piece, but am I having trouble defending it? I don't know. I think it deserves number 1. It deserves number 1. And some people might not agree with me putting the Tesla ahead of the N-Box, especially since the first color is really good, but again, I don't want to judge it on release, but it's mostly about the original, the first version, and just the regular N-Box is an okay 6th place. If we keep going, oh geez, I messed up the focus, but I'm not cutting this video again. If we keep going, I think number 7 is the Prius. Number 8, the Sienta. Number 9 would be the Integra. And number 10, I do like the Corolla Cross. Number 10. And what do we have left? What do we have left to judge? Z can be an 11. The Revolte can be a 12. No. The Supra's an 11. Supra's 11. Z's 12. Revolte 13. And I'm not going to count the trucks. Actually, if I were to count the trucks, the Hino would be, or the Isuzu would be somewhere in here. Either between the Subaru or the Supra and the Yaris, or between the Supra or the Z, somewhere over there. We're not going to count them. Revolte, let's see. We just got everything else is a re-release. Lexus goes, what was that, 13, 14. And the Mustang, dead last, 15. There you go, guys. That's it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for dealing with my, I don't know what to call it at this point. See you all in the next one. Happy New Year, everybody. Bye for now.